Well, g'day everyone, and welcome to the Cellar number 9. How are you, Jose?
Yeah, good. Unbelievable that we made to 9th edition of the Cellar.
Number 9. Who would have thought we would have gotten all the way here? Number 10 in a couple of weeks, so maybe we'll pull out something a little bit extra special for the Cellar number 10.
Yeah.
So this week again we pulled out a couple of whiskies, a few wines, and we've got a bit of stuff to talk about as well. But let's start on the whiskey front as always. And a couple of not so much old but new bottles and quite limited that we've pulled out and very sort of limited allocation for Australia, particularly of the Edradour 10-year-old single cask.
We got an Edradour 10-year-old single cask bottle for La Maison de Whisky in France. This is part of their Chronicles, which was last year's release, as they named it. So yeah, this is going to be for anyone who likes really dark whiskies and think that this is being diluted to 46%. So imagine the amount of sherry and punch. Perfect for winter warming and not expensive at all.
No.
Following this on the whiskey front, what we got also is the 78 degrees native grain whiskey. So this is made mainly with unmalted Australian barley.
Yes,
right.
With the weeping grass.
Yeah, with a bit of weeping grass, very little bit of weeping grass. Fantastic. It's spelled whiskey as an American style whiskey because it's not replicating a Scotch style of whiskey, you know. So fantastic dram. This actually is the
World Whiskey Award winning.
World Whiskey Award winner. Not the exact batch. This is batch number 2. Still outstanding product from an Australian distillery.
So this batch number 3, batch number 2 won the award. This is the same makeup and limited only to 400 bottles. Yeah. So it won't last long. It's a bit of a sort of relic now with the
we only got a couple bottles.
Yeah, so it's been awesome to be able to pop that one up there. It is a truly special whiskey and really interesting one to try. Jumping over to the wines now before we get into a little bit of other stuff as well. We brought a couple of wines out today. One from Western Australia and one from Italy. From Western Australia, from Franklin Estate. This is their Isolation Ridge Reisling 2020, so we're sort of pretty lucky to actually get a few bottles of this one as well. This is another one that comes sort of allocation based and it is just showing perfectly. Franklin Estate is about 250 kilometres inland from Margaret River, so it's a fairly remote sort of place in WA. They've had the estate there and the vines going since 1988.
Yeah.
Lots of sort of limestone rock, which creates these beautiful textural Rieslings with nice acidity and length. Perfect sort of.
And Isolation Ridge is the name of the vineyard. Yeah. If you guys are wondering, so this is a single vineyard wine, you know.
And it'd be the perfect sort of wine for soft cheeses, that sort of thing,
or something Thai.
Yeah,
you know, Thai Vietnamese food, you know, very well acidity matched with a very little bit of sweetness. It's not sweet, you know, it's bone dry, but it's, you know, that sort of more sweet and acidic that Riesling has. It's a fantastic Riesling.
Yeah. Wine number 2 in the cellar is this beautiful Nebbiolo Diablo from Aresca Monticelli, Jose 2016. This is an awesome little Nebbiolo.
Nebbiolo d'Alba from the north of Italy. This is a fantastic wine, not too expensive. On top of my head, it's around $60.
Yeah. Great
for your weekend pasta or a nice ragu. Medium body wine with quite a bit of fine tannins.
Yeah.
So yeah, not too astringent, not heavy, but just a lot of flavor. You know, a bit of nose of rose petals, Taran roses, which is a traditional nose of Nebbiolo. Yeah, really well represented on this wine.
It's a really interesting wine, particularly if you're starting to sort of get into wine a little bit more. Like Australian Nebbiolos are normally generally a little bit more fruit driven and don't have as much tannic structure. So this is a really sort of interesting step and would be a good wine to try, and just a delicious wine for food as well, red meats, that sort of thing. Delicious. The other couple of wines that we've got here out is just to show that the new 2020 Marco Lubiano release has just come out. And on our website, we do have some of the Marco Lubiano 2020. It's showing beautifully. It's absolutely a cracking vineyard down there in Lucelle in the Huon Valley. And he just won the Best New Act at the Young Guns of Wine Awards a couple of months ago, and his wines are just awesome. We're lucky enough to get a few of the Pinots, so those will be available. They sold out very quickly last year, and the Chardonnay, which is very, very limited and sold out like that. We've got a few in the shop. You'll have to come in and visit us if you want to have a little bit of a chat about getting one of those. This Chardonnay is truly exceptional.
Yep.
The sample, the 30ml sample we've brought out, it's a 15ml actually this week, because there was only about 60 mils left in the bottle, but it is such a good little bottle that we wanted to do.
This is a great bottle. This is artist number 6. This is a Glen from 1992, bottled in 2016. So basically, this is 24 years old.
Yeah.
Bourbon barrel, super fragrant, super fruity, an excellent whiskey from La Maison de Whisky, as we all used to the quality of the artist range. Here you can taste something that's been released in 2016. That's almost like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and it is a cracking whiskey. Like I tried a little, just tiny bit while I was sampling it up, and the fruit just jumped out, but then it's got this beautiful sort of like toffee chocolatey backbone there as well, so it's one of those really, really good gems.
Yeah.
So that's out there, and then also we are starting to bolster up over the next couple of days on our website our general samples. So as well as these ones that we bring out every fortnight, we do have a sample section where we bring out some samples that we've got in the shop and pop them online, and this week we're going to be putting out an Iran single cask 22-year-old, which Jose's got there.
Iran 22-year-old bottle by Zanzibar, another great fruity whiskey, but extremely malty too at the same time. It's a bit of a dichotomy, fruity and malty. Very rarely get Irans at this age, especially at single cask, at cask strength, coming from Zanzibar, probably one of my favorite bottlers, or our house favorite bottlers.
Yeah.
And the other one comes from a collaboration between other of our 2 favorite bottlers,
Yep.
the Whisky Agency and the Nectar of the Daily Drams. This is an 18-year-old blended malt, arguably single, but labeled as blended. 46.4. Yeah, 46.4. I'm good on my memory. This is one of those famous casks that came from Eddington, blended malts. Presumably could be Glenrothes sherry cask, Macallan sherry cask. Who knows? They purchase it as blended anyway, so can't call it single. But rest assured, this is big, rich, and thick. You know, it's like the old school sherry whiskey.
Decadent.
Yeah.
So those ones, plus a few more popping up on the website for the 30ml samples. Also, coming up at the very start of July, we'll have the second release of Whisky Abbey. Whisky Abbey, obviously the first release sold out really quickly, so I'm going to start putting some updates in the cellar and in our newsletter so everyone can be ready for the second release. It's shaping up awesome, and we're also going to have a few masterclass tickets go on sale probably in around mid-July too, which is going to be awesome, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Thanks for tuning in for the Cellar Edition 9, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again for Edition 10. A few surprises in store there, I reckon.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys.